Okay, you guys, this video has been, well, it's taken me forever to get around to it. Not because I haven't wanted to, but because I've just been so busy. A few weeks ago, I had left a poll, because the community tab had opened up to me after I got to a certain number of subscribers, and I left a poll because I was wanting to, like I said, to mark the occasion of the subscribers that I had gotten. And I had asked if people were interested in a Q&A or nothing because I wasn't that interesting, or something along those lines, or something else. So most people chose Q&A. There were a few questions that were in there, and I think there's also been some questions that have been interspersed throughout the comment sections of some of my other videos. I've tried to recall some of them. Well, I only recall, I think, one off the top of my head. So to include in this particular video, there might have been a few others. Someone had advised in the comment section of the poll that I put up to not necessarily open up too much about stuff like that, just because, sometimes it can be a little dicey when sometimes people, they don't necessarily like the way you think or the stuff that you talk about. And so that can make them mad at you. And, I get that. But at the same time, like I mentioned in another video of mine, people are interested in some general stuff about me. Things like, the work that I do and stuff like that, and some other things. So I decided that I would make this video. I'll try to be quick, but you know how it is when I say that. I never am. Oh, and I forgot to say, I found this shirt. I found this pattern of my desktop wallpaper on a shop on Etsy. And I could not resist. I had to get it. I was so excited. Anyway, it came in recently, so this is the first time I've worn it. So it was so cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of Q&A stuff right now. But I was also going to say that during the course of, one of the questions or one of the suggestions was to maybe interview my brother, the artist. And I've mentioned in at least one other video that I did do that when he was down a few weeks ago. I did an interview with him. I've pretty much edited the whole thing, but it's really long. We talked a long time, you guys. It's like an hour long. And at first I thought about just splitting it up. And I think maybe I won't. Maybe I will upload the whole thing. I don't know. Or maybe I'll split it into two parts or something. Just kind of make it smaller chunks. We'll see. Because we kind of veer our conversations, drift throughout the course of, when we were talking. And so, in addition to him, this was the artist I'm talking about. I don't know if I said that already or not. Anyway, in addition to him, I interviewed my other brother, the one who wrote the books that I edited. And so that was fun because they were both in town recently and they're gone now. Anyway, so yes, I just wanted to indicate that was also something coming up. I'm going to do sort of like a multi-video thing to mark the occasion of getting X number of subscribers. At the time, it was going to be that I would do a special video for like 1,000 subscribers, and I went way past that. And then I was like, oh, holy cow, it's getting it's growing so quickly. And so then I put another marker. Okay, I'm going to get this stuff done by the time I get to 5,000 subscribers. Well, I hit 5,000 already, and I don't have it done yet. I'm sorry. Not that you guys are, hanging around waiting for that with bated breath, but I set these goals for myself and then I didn't do it. So I'm kind of annoyed at myself. Okay. So I'm going to try to just go ahead. Oh, what did I say? I'm sitting here. This is terrible. So what I'm going to do is a multi-video type thing. I'll do this Q&A. And I've got the videos of my brothers. And then also someone well, multiple people had suggested talking about my rats. So I think that I will do a separate video dedicated to them. Just talking about them, just little general bits of trivia and stuff like that. I'll try to think of the most common questions that people have about rats and to address that in the video. And I will bring them along with me whenever I make that video. So that's one I haven't done yet, but it will be happening. Okay, so I'm going to just go through some of the questions or the comments that were made. And I did make some notes just so I don't forget anything. So I've talked about the rats already. I've talked about my brothers. Oh, some people have recommended that I do music reactions. I have done a handful of music video reactions before. They've been really mostly, well, pretty much, they've all dealt with songs that I'm familiar with, songs that I wanted to introduce to you guys if you hadn't heard them yet. Some Aha music. I've done some reactions to translations of Spanish songs that I really liked. And I did one to Johnny Cash. So I'm familiar with them already. It's just kind of, I wanted to talk about them. I know there's a lot of music I haven't heard. I'm not the hugest music fan. I've indicated before that one of the reasons why I've stayed away from doing a lot of music reactions is because I don't really feel like I have a whole lot to share or talk about when it comes to stuff like that. But I certainly am interested to continue doing it. It's just right now I'm quite interested in the comedy, watching comedy videos and laughing. But I will try to come up with some sort of schedule as far as the types of videos that I do. I still do trailer reactions. I do review videos as well. It's been a while since I've done a review video. I think maybe the last one I did was Guns Akimbo, maybe. And I want to delve into the movie and show reaction video thing. So I've got all these ideas of stuff that I want to do. It's kind of hard to implement them all because I'm really busy with work and stuff going on around the house. And so I'll try to do the best I can as far as that goes. So so there's that. As far as the music reactions, yes, I will definitely consider doing more of those. It's just I may not do as many of those as some of the other stuff that I do on this channel. Okay. Let's see. Oh, someone had suggested that I do a live stream Ask Me Anything sort of deal. I have toyed with the idea of doing a live stream, but my schedule is so chaotic that I don't really think that I would have an easy time doing something like that. Plus, I feel like I would get a little bit of stage fright doing something live like that. Even though I'm not really physically in front of a bunch of people, I'm still in front of people. And I don't know how I would be able to, I don't know that I'd be able to respond well enough to questions and comments, and I'd get distracted by the stuff people are saying. And I don't know. I just don't know that I would perform very well. Because what I do here with these videos, it's something I'm able to sort of think about. If I screw up, you know, I can edit something out if I need to. I don't have to think quickly off the top. I mean, I am thinking off the top of my head. When I talk to you guys, it's unscripted. If I make little notes, it's just to remind myself about something. But what I mean is, I can take the time to formulate my thoughts. And if I do a lot of ums and ahs and pausing or whatever, I can edit that out. That wouldn't be the most fun thing to watch on a live stream. So I don't know. I'm not going to rule it out, but it's just I don't really have any immediate plans to do something like that. So there's that. Okay, next thing was someone asked for me to do a tour of the bookshelves behind me. Well, behind me, it's really just a cabinet. I think it's like 12 by 4. Yeah, 12 by 4. And it's 3 cabinets stacked on top of each other. And it's just paperwork. It's just like, bills, medical stuff, tax stuff, folders, printing labels, like shipping labels and stuff like that. Is really, it's only drawing attention because it's extremely messy. My whole desk is very messy, and it's terrible. But yes, I'm sorry if that's been an eyesore and a distraction. When I move into my other office, I plan to put up a green screen thing behind me against the wall, so maybe I can just put my desktop wallpaper will be a bigger picture. I think that might be what I'll do. Anyway, so it will be a little different. The acoustics might be a little different too, but in the new place. But I'm going to put up maybe some panels and stuff like that to help with reverb. Okay, so the next thing was someone requested that I tell you guys why I love the Hulk TV series so much. They expressed disbelief that I was old enough to remember it. Well, I am, you guys. I remember it as a kid. So here's the thing about the Hulk. I first became aware of the show before I even was reading comic books. So that was my introduction to the Hulk. And the reason I love it, as a child, I knew the Hulk was good. I knew that he wasn't bad, but he was still kind of scary to me. And especially when the transformations would happen, it would freak me out. I was so scared. Like my heart would just pound like crazy. And my dad would have to, we'd be at my grandmother's house. And that's how, because I would watch it only at friends and families, when I was at their place, because I didn't have a TV growing up. Consequently, that might be why I was so afraid. I was sheltered from a lot of that sort of material as far as entertainment stuff goes, like on the TV and the constant barrage of, violence and stuff like that. And so when I would see something like the Hulk, it really, really frightened me, even though I knew it was good. It still scared me. Like I said, heart just going crazy, and I would be really scared. And my dad would come and he would hold me while I was to kind of calm me down while I was watching it. And then it'd be okay. But one of the reasons that I really love that show so much is because of Bill Bixby. I feel like he's one of the few celebrities that I actually feel like I have love for. Like I love him as a father figure, because he and my dad both looked very much alike back then, at around that time period. Some people thought that my dad was him. So I love Bill Bixby because he reminds me of my dad. And just his life was so tragic. The story of him, and oh my gosh, he seemed like such a quality human being and had such a sad life. And I remember when he died, I cried, you guys. I cried like a baby. And I still get teary-eyed when I think about him, especially if I see some of his final interviews and just think about the stuff that he went through. I have such affection for that man. I wish I had been able to meet him. I don't know. That's why. I mean, that's basically why I love Bill Bixby. In a very platonic sort of way. Like I said, kind of like a parental sort of thing. So yeah, he was something. His story, his life story is sad, and the stuff that happened to his kid, and then to his ex-wife, then his cancer battles, and finally cancer is what took him. So yeah, that's why. Anyway, plus it was a good show, you guys. I mean, it was very good. I mean, they took He was such a good pick for that role because he really humanized the role of Banner. They changed his name to David in the show instead of Bruce. But whatever, he's the same character from the comics. That's what he's based on. And he just really brought such depth to that character. Like, you really felt so sorry for him. At the end of every episode, I would just cry and feel so sad for him as he's walking off all by himself, trying to hitch a ride to go to the next story. It's just, and then they played that Lonely Man song. Oh man, just kills my heart. So there's that. Okay, the final thing that I wrote down to talk about is someone had asked. Well, more than one person has asked about my job. One person said, "What is your gig? Like, what do you do?" That sort of thing. And I tried to find that question in the comments, but I can't. The search function is just, it's kind of buggy. Or maybe the person deleted their comment or something, but I cannot find it anymore. I should have responded to it when I first saw it, but I don't always have the time to respond to comments right in that moment. And I make a mental note to go back to it. And then sometimes when I go back to it, I can't find it again, and that's frustrating. Anyway, so my job. As I've mentioned before, I'm an audiobook proofer. I've been doing this for almost 4 years now. So basically what I do is I listen to audiobooks when they've first been done by the narrator. The audiobooks that I work on are very rarely done by one narrator now, because we now involve several people in a project, at least 2 voice actors, narrator included, in a particular project. It's sometimes 3 or 4, sometimes up to 5. I don't know if it's been more than 5, but so what I do is they record their stuff. The narrator records their portion of the audiobook. They do their voices if they're going to do voices for it, which they usually do at least some voices. And then the other voice actors, they get we call it a set. They get the set. They record their voices where their characters are supposed to talk, and then that's uploaded to the drive where we have our stuff, and then I download it and I open it up and I get the script in front of me. We have my daughter actually works on the scripts, because since it's done like a play. She takes the manuscript, the original manuscript, and she edits it to, basically she explodes the dialogue out, makes it look like a screenplay, puts the character labels. Each voice actor has a color label. So she puts the color labels, character's name, the voice actor's initials. And so when they get it, it looks like a screenplay, sort of. Because it's still got all the narration and stuff like that in there. And so I get it, I get the script, I put it up on my second monitor here. I open up the audiobook project file. We use Ableton Live for the work that we do. And I just start playing the audio, and I look for things like text errors. If there's been a misread, in other words, I mark that for them to do a retake. We do all of our work within Ableton. I copy the clip the sentence. I copy the clip, the WAV file, whatever. I move it up into the appropriate track, because we have different tracks in each of our project sets, and put it up there. Put the line that they need to redo. I put little markers around the words that need to be fixed. And then when they get the set and they go through all the stuff that I've marked, they can see everything they need to do, and they go and they just re-record the line right there. In addition to listening for misreads, I listen also for performance-based things, like if they pronounce a word wrong, or if I feel like they've done their voice inflection not like it doesn't represent what the sentence says. Like if they just read it wrong, and you know it when you hear it, it's kind of hard for me to think of an example off the top of my head. But basically, if they've just kind of interpreted the sentence incorrectly, and then they haven't, it wasn't represented vocally the way it is on the page, I'll leave a note about that. If I feel like maybe they're not acting out the line like they're supposed to be, if it says that the character's yelling and they don't yell it because maybe they just didn't notice that in the surrounding text, I'll make a note of that. Sometimes if there are technical things going on, like if there's some weird glitchy noise in the audio, I'll mark that for our like our audio engineer people. We call them polishers, for them to take care of that if they're able to fix it, or if possibly if they can't, then that will need to be redone by the voice actor or narrator. And I also do things like adjust timing. If the pacing is it's too long or too short, I fix the timing so that it flows. My experience before I got started into this, because this is the first time I'd ever done it, the guy I work with, he offered me the position. At the time, it was just him narrating on his own, and he offered me the position. He had done one of my brother's books. He'd done the audiobook for one of my brothers, and by that point, we were already friends, on Facebook. And so after he did my brother's book, he offered me the job. I'm like, heck yes, I love audiobooks. And I had been listening to audiobooks for like, by that point, at least 11 or 12 years, probably more, because I think I started listening to audiobooks around 2005-ish. Because I know that by the time 2007 came around and Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, I was already listening to audiobooks by then. So yeah, it was a good while. Yeah. Anyway, listening to audiobooks, I feel it kind of gave me the ear that I needed in order to be able to tell how things should sound as far as performance and timing and stuff like that. So that's been a real help to me, and that's what I've been doing for the past nearly 4 years. I enjoy my job, but as I have said in other videos, working on audiobooks all the time has kind of taken away my enjoyment, my personal enjoyment of listening to audiobooks for pleasure. So that was one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel, was because I still wanted to talk about good stories and entertainment related stuff. And because I don't necessarily want to listen to an audiobook on my time off, because I'm plugged in all the time, I decided that what I wanted to do was just talk about movies and stories and things like that. And the only way really to do that with a bunch of other people, I am kind of a loner, an introvert, but I still like to talk about stuff with people. But so the best platform for me to do that on was YouTube. So I started making these videos, mostly trailer reactions, so that I could talk about stuff. And so that's how this all happened. And my channel's gone in a direction I was not anticipating, but it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been great to talk with so many different people and exchange comments and hear, not literally hear, but see the things that they write about, the things they recommend. And I've been discovering so much new fun material, and laughing a lot, like I said earlier in other videos, laughing a lot, which has been very nice during this awful year. So I'm trying to think about what else my job entails. Oh, before I became an audiobook proofer, I was actually a narrator, because I got started in audiobook narration through ACX, which is owned by Audible. Like, it's connected with Audible, and Amazon owns them. And I had done a few audiobooks, mostly nonfiction. I did one fiction, was a short story. I don't feel like I'm really personally that great of an actor, so that's why it was always so much easier to just stick with nonfiction material. I tried to work mostly on things that personally interested me, so that's what I did. And so having that experience as well as just being able to listen to, I mean, sorry, I'm going to feel like I need to edit that out. Having that experience, knowing what goes into making an audiobook, and is very time consuming, you guys, extremely. That's why it's expensive to get one done. But having that experience as well as the experience I had of, or, you know, all the years I had of listening to audiobooks was what kind of really became useful skills for me as I started to started in this field. I also do manuscript editing for various authors. I don't do as much of that as I do the audiobook stuff, but yes, I've edited quite a few books actually. Yeah, so there's that. That's what I do. That's all. I can't think of anything else. Oh, well, yeah, I also train new proofers that are going to start doing what I do. I train them. I look over also the script conversion stuff. I get those documents converted into the different file formats that our narrators or voice actors like to use, and kind of try to keep an eye on the folders, our work folders, project folders, and stuff like that. But yeah, now watch, I'll forget something else, but can't think of anything else. If I remember it, I'll put a little text thing or something in the video when I edit it. So anyway, I think that's it. I don't have anything else to contribute here. I think I've gone over everything that I wrote down. Those other videos will be forthcoming as well. This video will probably be the first one that goes up. The next ones will probably be the ones of my brothers, and then maybe the last one will be my Raddies, because I haven't filmed that one yet. And I definitely would not film that today because I don't want them to mess up my shirt. They like to chew on things. So whenever I hold them and do a video, I have to wear like a ratty old, shirt. So, okay. Well, that's all for this, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. And I just wanted to say once again, thank you so much for your comments and for your support and the interactions, the exchanges we've had. I really have enjoyed pretty much every moment. There's been some nasty people, and I just kind of sweep that aside. I want my channel to be as conflict-free as possible. And there are so many other places you can go to be surrounded by people that are trolls and not very nice. And I feel like I would like my little corner of YouTube. Yeah, there's going to be some disagreements that people have. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about, nastiness, like not very nice people. Obviously, maybe as it continues to grow, I probably won't be able to be as on top of stuff like that as I am now, but I'll do the best I can. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent there, but I'm trying to think of ways to wrap this up, and I can't think of really creative ways to wrap it up, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say goodbye for now. Later.